Henrietta Dorothy Everett was a British writer writing under the pseudonym Theo Douglas. She was born in 1851 in Gillingham, Kent, as Henrietta Dorothy Huskisson, the daughter of John Huskisson and Julia Lovett. In 1869 she married Isaac Edward Everett. She wrote 22 novels as Theo Douglas, but her most well-known, The Death Mask and Other Ghosts, was issued under her own name. She died in 1923 in Weston-on-Trent. Today we will review her first novel, the 1896 Iras, a mystery. Ralph Lavenham is an old bachelor who spends his time between travelling around Egypt and writing about it for his British publishers in his bachelor apartment. At the beginning he is awaiting a shipment of sponges from his friend Jack Skipton, and the fact there is a mummy inside the mass of sponges to fool customs is another reason he is anxious about it. He had sent Skipton to Egypt to find Abdelmoruk, a renowned fraud and thief from Thebes, to help him get hold of such a thing for his newest book to research the embalming process. Abdelmoruk knows about just the thing, but wants to wash his hands of the whole affair. Skipton then unburies the mummy Abdelmoruk and company stole from a tomb and then immediately buried again, for reasons the Arab will not admit. As Lavenham awaits his sponges, he begins to have a bit of an issue. He begins to see a strange Egyptian in priest robes following him everywhere, glaring at him hatefully, but no one else is able to see him. Still fighting with this difficulty, he is made to accompany his illustrator Nollis to a party where he meets the famous palmist Madame St. Heliers, and Madame St. Heliers warns him that he will very soon fall in love dearly, that the Egyptian is his bitter enemy, and that he should be wary of the constellation Orion. Thinking nothing of this, Lavenham is ecstatic to find his sponges arrived. His landlady, however, is not as thrilled and gets into hysterics over having a corpse in the house. Then during the night, after he opens the casket, he sees a living human hand sticking out of it. Unwrapping the woman within, he finds a tablet written by Sevak, priest of Sebek, boasting that the woman is to be put into suspended sleep until she should awake to life in a new age, to see the man whose face she saw in the divining cup and whose woman she wished to be. Sevak, who wanted her for himself, boasts that he will use his power to have her still, even after death, and curses his future lover with the curse of Sebek. Meanwhile, the dead woman buried 3,000 years ago wakes up and Lavenham falls for her at once. She grabs him and announces her love for him, and how she is to be alive as long as the 7 lotus buds around her neck remain inviolate. Ralph goes through much trouble to travel to Scotland to enter a Scotch marriage with the woman, whom he named Iras at her request, since in the north the two may be married, with some extra steps, without any of that pesky documentation proving her nationality or existence. But soon after, Shadow steals up to the sleeping Iris and steals one of the lotus buds. Now Lavenham tries to convince her this is all superstition and nonsense. I repeat, the man who just married an Egyptian princess of the 20th dynasty who he saw come back to life after 3,000 years tells the woman alive because of literal magic that the fantastic is mere superstition. The two end up travelling further and further north to try and evade Sevak's power, but the lotus buds keep disappearing and Iris fades, until only Lavenham can see her, and then when the two are stuck in the snow, he collapses and awakes next to a shrunken mummy dressed in the clothes of a modern English woman. Lavenham spends the remaining time searching for proof that his marriage really did happen, and that his wife was real. The oppression of Lavenham as he runs from the endless persecution of the dead priest, and the end of his struggle in the middle of the snow is very well done, and the endless travelling between Scottish hovels doesn't go on for the whole book as you may have feared.